100 dev made a game without communicating. That sounds interesting, actually. Let's watch that. That sounds like a mess. By the channel Blackthornprod. Alright.
100 developers make one game, but there's a twist. No communication between them is allowed.
How would that even work, though? Like, how would that even work? Wouldn't all the code and stuff they make just be totally broken apart?
This is the ultimate Pass the Game challenge, the biggest game dev collaboration on YouTube. I'll start the project, working on it for 1 hour, and then pass it on to the second dev who also gets 1 hour.
Oh, I see, okay. I thought they were like all doing it at the same time or something, you know? But no, okay. Like, you just have to build on the the previous person's work. That makes sense.
Then on to Dev 3, and this all the way up to 100 developers. So get ready for an absolutely crazy journey, starting with Dev number 1, me. So I decided to spend my time building beautiful mini hub worlds that would hopefully spark the imagination of the 99 other developers. Using Unity's terrain tools, I began by creating an earthy gateway that seemed to lead down to some gritty dwarven kingdom.
And in 1 hour, you can't do much,
I created a forlorn, icy world. It's even got a spooky door right in the middle that seems to lead down to some depraved dungeons.
Okay.
And finally, I created a nice, warm, spicy desert, complete contrast from the other world, and that really promises, you know, wide open spaces and adventure. So I cannot wait to see what the next creators are going to do with this.
Ow! What the? Why? You broke my window!
Oh, what happened? I heard you scream.
He just threw a USB stick through our window!
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're all using like the same engine or game making software or something. Otherwise, yeah, that would be a mess.
He must have a good throwing arm.
What? Well, you're complimenting his throwing arm?
No, I'm just saying it's pretty hard to break a window. I was watching a Mark Rober video about it just now, and you...
Can I just work on this now?
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Alright, well, anyways, I guess since there's no gameplay yet, I'm the one to decide what the base for it will be, and because 98 devs have to work on this after me, I figured I'd use the Unity first-person controller. A decent amount of them should have some experience with this controller already, plus it just launches the project and doesn't keep it stuck in a state where nothing really exists. The levels themselves made me think of a Norse mythology setting, except for the desert, but we can just ignore that one, don't worry about it. And I really want this game to have an interesting style, but it should also easily be replicated by any future dev, be it 2D or 3D, so the player's hand is drawn in a style that immediately just gives it this fun aesthetic, in my opinion. It allows future 3D artists to model the environment and 2D artists to get to draw new hands, or even 2D enemies, which I'd like to see, like in retro shooters. Anyways, the player's hands have magical icy powers, because they might be a Norse mythological character, maybe, that were known for their ice powers. There's a simple finger gun, a charge shot. I only had 1 hour. Come on.
Hey, I'm Aya. To make creating and editing abilities easier, I added the spell system from my game Mana Valley. I converted the existing attacks
This is gonna be such a mess by the end.
And changed a few things that had been triggering me. At this point, the attacks were just visual. So I also brought over the damage system from my game. In order to provide future...
I guess that's the way to just speedrun it, yeah, like... just import some of the stuff from other game, you know? That you can do that more in 1 hour like that.
devs with a blueprint on how to configure damageable objects. I created some targets in this, what I'm calling Microsoft Paint style. One of the cool things about the damage system is that it pulses the scale and flashes any object that gets damaged. The flashing will work with any material, but it does require the dev to input the name of the shader's emission channel. So I guess we'll see if anyone figures that out.
Okay.
To complete the game loop, I made it so that targets will respawn after a delay. Now you can cast spells and damage targets forever.
That's some good advancements.
Continue this insane project. We wanted to let you know that we've created a complete free game development course that will teach you the fundamentals of Unity while actually building this beautiful little game that you can see right here. If you want to take your very first steps to becoming a game creator, then this is a must-watch. Again, it's completely free, and the link is in the description down below. With that said, let's move on.
I guess it's free, so you know I can't say anything. I was gonna laugh a little bit because you know so many like YouTuber like paid course about something are so stupid, and you know I've seen video like exposing them, right? Recently I saw the Ninja one, but I guess it's free, so it's probably good then, you know.
Number 4.
Okay, I see. Magic or something? Okay, see, I always wanted a game which is Battle Royale, but magic. So like PUBG, but Skyrim.
There must be some.
Put together. See what I'm saying? I think that could be really cool. This seems like the perfect opportunity to get it done. Obviously, I have no idea how to even begin doing something like that. However, I
was gonna say, like, one of the dev might just literally not do anything in 1 hour, just think about it, and then it's been 1 hour.
I have an idea. Let's say we just make the main menu. And we'll just name the game, you know, slightly suggestive title. Voila. Now all we have to hope for is that the next person finds the menu and starts making our game.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan, the developer of Nightstones, an open world game with some beautiful nature. So I wanted to bring some nature to this game. Instead of planting trees, I added a spell that I call Eat Your Greens. It's a low damage, high fire rate spell because I can't imagine anything more terrifying than a wizard rapid firing 5 calories of spinach at you. So eat your greens and check out Nightstones. I'm out.
Hey, this is
I was gonna say, I guess that makes sense. This is like basically just an ad for like every person in this, but also a cool concept. That's a pretty good way to do it, yeah. It's literally like an ad, like a 17-minute non-stop ad video, but at the same time, there's actual content to it, so it's pretty smart.
James plus James, and when I got the project, the first thing I did was fix the hand back to being active on screen. Then I added an indicator for which spell was active, added weapon switching with number keys, made one of the weapons a rapid-fire machine gun, fixed up some effects, and then I was out of time.
Okay.
Good luck, whoever's next.
I decided to focus my short time on 2 things. The first thing I did was spend a lot of time cleaning up the existing codebase. The second thing I did was to create a system for enemies to fight against. Since I have a good amount of experience with AI enemy logic from my tanks game, it was pretty quick for me to make a basic enemy, create different states, and allow it to follow and attack the player. Oh, and I also slapped on some horrifying temp art.
When I got the game, I didn't quite know what I was looking at. But what I did know was that I needed to change switching the spells with the scroll wheel because it didn't work. Well, now it does work. Yeah, it's working. But testing the game to see what could possibly have been the plan of...
It's interesting to see like the thought process of most of them. Like the first few guys were like about creating something per se, and like the next few guys are just like, you know, kind of like fixing the things that were undone by the last guys, like adding the ability to switch weapon, to switch with the keys or the mouse wheel, or fix the code or something. It's interesting to see like how they think about, you know, what they should do with this.
People before me led to me getting crazy whiplash whenever I moved the mouse. So obviously I made a start to a settings menu that allows you to change your sensitivity. Is that necessary so early in development? No, but whiplash is only for car accidents, not video games. With this I added some code that could only be accessed when the game is paused, but that, as well as properly damaging enemies, which you can't do yet, is a problem for a future dev. Good luck.
Hello, I'm Rugbug. Right now there's no way to tell how much health you have, but making a generic health bar would look pretty out of place right next to this hand. So I tried to make a realistic heart in the style of the hand and made it beat faster the lower health you have. I also replaced the textures in the level, trying to match this retro pixel art style that the previous artist was going for.
This guy is cooking.
Hey everyone, this is Ramiz from Binary Lunar, and I think you come across one of my Unity tutorials on YouTube. So I have updated the main menu by adding pixel art, and also I have added pixel art trees and updated the enemies to have pixel art.
It's already getting advanced.
Hey, I'm Daniel from Hive. Jumping into this, I saw the main menu that piqued my interest, so I started creating the first ice stage. I then noticed we would need a way to spawn enemies in, so I spent a chunk of my time creating a simple spawning system that you can define custom areas for the enemies.
All this in 1 hour.
Then I linked up the door managing system that would wait for all enemies within the room to be eliminated for it to open, and then with the remaining time, I fixed up a few loose ends and got it to this point.
Bruh, I got this guy. This guy is efficient. I mean, obviously I have no idea like how any of this, most of what they're doing like should take in terms of time, but this guy seems super efficient.
Hey, it's Ollie from Mashup Games. Let's look at what I did. First, I added a spell selection wheel where you hold right click and drag your mouse to the spell you want to select rather than using the scroll.
That's funny, like so far there's been like what, 3-4 people trying to like change the way you select weapon. Like that is pretty funny.
Wheel. Second, I thought the game needed more than just projectile spells, so I added a spell that lets you grab objects and fling them across the battlefield at enemies. It also helps the arena feel a bit less empty with loads of objects in it. And that's it from me.
Hello, it's Florian. Let me show you what I did to the project. I wanted to add some painkillers vibe, so I let the enemies drop a green orb on their death. Here it gives to the player an experience point to earn levels and allows him to unlock new spells. I also added a bunny hopping system where the character can increase its move speed by jumping continuously with the correct timing.
I see.
And that's all, folks.
When I got the project, I quickly realized that a lot had been done, but much of it was left broken or incomplete. So I quickly fixed the spell unlocking system, added a generic singleton class, I also added a validation check for the enemy spawn position on the nav mesh, and some other miscellaneous minor changes to improve playability.
As soon as I opened
it's funny to say again, like there's always one guy who fixes everybody else's shit, you know? I guess there's like the creatives who just put an idea in and hope someone is gonna like make it work. And then you've got the guy who's like, damn, this is all messed up, I need to fix some of this.
I knew I was in for something special because I almost killed myself by walking into my own bullets. God, I hate when that happens. So to fix that, you guys don't care. You want to see the mana meter I made, the cool new hands that I made, the animations I added with this super satisfying new parry ability, which gives you all of your mana back. And to whoever made this map,
pretty cool.
No offense, but it kind of looked like So, yeah, it still looks terrible, but I tried.
I opened the project. I entered the...
I feel like some of them are gonna become enemies. Like, some of them are definitely like shitting on the others' work.
But I see this. I decided to change the first level's terrain texture. I knew I had to add a new projectile. There's ice, there's green, but where's fire?
Yeah.
Then I programmed both the death screen and the level complete screen. And every game needs a toilet, so I added one. As the very last thing, I added the fully functioning settings menu to the main menu and the pause menu.
Okay.
At first, I noticed the game had the original Doom aesthetic. Seeing enemies drop an XP orb on death instantly gave me the idea to make the orbs burst out like they do in Doom Eternal when you perform a glory kill. While I was working on making these orbs satisfying, I realized they could also be used to restore players' health and mana as well. This resulted in me making 3 types of orbs: mana, health, and XP. I also made enemies have slightly different drops depending on their type. Mages would drop more mana,
I did video spending just 1 hour on it.
In theory, this should make the combat more interesting since the player would have to prioritize killing enemies that restore what they need the most. Finally, for some finishing touches, I added flash and damage indicators that made shooting enemies much more fun.
You know what this game needs? A boss. So my brother started by modeling the boss, and I started by reshaping the terrain and adding some grass and then adding some walls and pillars to create a boss-like arena. I also started coding the basics of the boss. At this point, the boss had been modeled and animated, so I put this all together in Unity with some particle effects, and additionally I changed the boss's projectile so it follows the player. And here's what you get.
First thing I've noticed is that you deal 1 damage to the enemies, which is a bit underwhelming. Much better. Every game needs a dash, so I've added one. Then I touched the Eternal Toilet. Next, I enabled Spell Rapid Fire and also removed these almost invisible enemy projectiles and replaced them with big red balls.
Okay.
And lastly, I've added
big
some
balls
effects.
are great. We get sound now.
So I mainly worked on the UI because I've only ever done 2D games before and didn't want to waste time figuring things out and unraveling everything. So I amateurishly copied the art style of this heart to make an arm for the mana, which sounded way cooler in my head. But then I replaced all the template rune UI. Lastly, I ran out of time trying to figure out how to prompt the upgrade screen manually instead of interrupting gameplay, so I just planted some trees instead.
Hey everybody, I've only got a minute. So this is Orion from Constellation Creative. I was joined by my partners JT and Nacho for this project, as well as my dog Klaus, who helped me out a lot during the process. So we decided to treat this a bit like a game jam, where we a lot during the process. So we decided to treat this.
We're given 10 hours to use across the 2 of us. So. Oh, okay. So I guess I was confused. Like, did you not say at the beginning that like every dev would get 1 hour? Okay. I guess I was maybe wrong. Maybe some of them got way more than 1 hour. Okay.
It's a bit like a game jam where we went in and had JT do a design document to kind of design what we were going to do for the project, which ended up being an armor drop system to modify character abilities and character stats. I started out by programming some scriptables for armor and an armor master list. I made that auto-populate, remove, and shift items when they changed rarity for balancing. For the armor, I made a tooltip system with a custom text parser for effects, which I was really proud of. So here in the arena, you can see the finished product. If I kill this enemy, I'll be able to drop an item. Item has a tooltip and an effect, and when we equip the item, for the most part, they all have functional effects except for a few of them that are meant to affect spells. Thanks for having us. Can't wait to see what the next developer cooks up.
Okay. Whoa. Damn.
Ooh, wasn't that cool? Anyway, I only have 3 hours, so let's get started.
3 hours,
Here's what
okay.
I want to do. This is a first-person shooter, and the shooting doesn't work. Yeah, when I'm firing, the bullets are going to the right of the reticle. So basically, instead of shooting the bullets like this, we need to shoot them like this. Dope. On to problem
nice.
number 2.
Fixed.
Love the art style we're going for here, but some of the textures are pixelated and some are not. To fix this, I brought the non-pixelated textures into Photoshop, increased the contrast a little bit, scaled them down, and now instead of looking like this, they look like damn. And finally, number 3, the enemy orbs are looking a little too orb-like at the moment. So I hopped into Shader Graph, composed this nice little shader to make our ice attack look a little bit more icy, and our fire attack look a bit more fiery. Actually, one more thing. I added this secret room somewhere in level 1. Let's see if anyone finds it.
Make you get out. You better get the heck out of here right now.
Damn.
Wizard Battle Royale, what does magic smell like?
Best art is the side of things. I don't know what that means.
Which is like take steady and show like Minecraft.
Amazing. So they've taken my little hub worlds, changed it around quite a bit. It's not the ice world anymore. And they've actually created an insane giant world here. Wow.
Okay.
So that's the reaction.
A lot of stuff going on. I like the visuals a lot. I really like the textures going on. I like the UI a lot. Not sure if I'm the biggest fan of the hand being low poly 3D instead of the same style as the rest of the UI, but it might be for the better, maybe.
And hold middle mouse button to open.
I mean, there's definitely like a ton of clashing ideas, obviously.
Spell select. I do have a bit of an issue. My middle mouse button does not work. I feel like Tice over here.
Also, my spacebar is broken, so please calm down, okay? Also, there's the problem. My spacebar still doesn't work. You throw them with space. Can I jump? I don't know. My spacebar is broken.
Oh boy, I can jump as well. Wizards. An army of wizards shooting fireballs at me.
Yes, nice. Okay, I like that the enemies are 2D sprites.
It's interesting to say, like, why most of them won't figure out there's the parry mechanic.
Feels good to play.
Ooh. The sounds like this, I don't know what it is. It feels juicy. Like I like the hits, the hit noise feel impactful.
Wow, that was very polished, really smooth. This is looking really great. Wow.
Yo, and look, the Ice Blast still has the same Norse rune as a symbol. That's cool. Yeah, I like these. I like the UI a lot.
The style is like a weird mix of things. It's like a 3D hand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which I like better. I feel like it probably, makes it from
like, you know, like, this is a complete game in a sense of like, if you go on Steam, there's gonna be so many games that, you know, are basically like this, sold for like $10, $20, and are basically considered complete, right? Like, yeah, and yet, you know, they're probably gonna continue like building on this.
Game dev point of view, it probably makes sense to just lean into the pixel, because then anybody could really do it.
Doesn't seem super powerful, like, and like,
crash.
All right.
This one actually feels less impactful. This is kind of interesting. Okay, so what's this? I can't read any of this.
Big damage.
We need a beautiful fantasy music here. So all the music composers out there, guys, if you want to take part in this project and help us out with this, make sure to contact us at passthegamechallenge@gmail.com. Ooh.
What's this? Feather Cloak. Movement speed, 6%.
Oh yeah.
This doesn't feel like 6%.
That's just like a lot more, yeah.
Why is there a toilet up there? I'm sure there's a boss, right? Oh yeah, there's a boss. Outsmarted by the dev.
I'm getting way too fast.
Damn.
Why am I so fast?
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. This is like a quarter of the way done. It'll be interesting to see how it sort of develops.
I want to keep this short, but this is looking really promising. I cannot wait to see what the next 25 developers are going to do. For example, how will this game look when we reach 100 developers? It's going to be absolutely insane.
Cool. This is totally different than anything I've worked on in these collabs. So it's
That's
cool
a cool
to see,
idea.
and
It's a big
I'm
cool
excited
idea,
for the next 3 quarters of people to work on it.
The combined effort of these 25 unique creators to create this really, really great looking project that's got so much potential. So yeah, really congrats to everyone. Thank you all for taking part, and looking forward to making more progress on this game in the new year. We hope you enjoyed part 1 of this project. As you can see, the game isn't over yet, so we're going to carry over this insane collaboration into 2024. And if you want to be part of this amazing project, you want the next 75 developers, then just email us with your game dev portfolio at passthegamechallenge@gmail.com. And there's a high chance we ask you to join us on this crazy game creation journey. Now guys, do you want a free and easy way to level up your game programming skills? games? If so, then you should check out our sponsor, Brilliant. Math plays a
Oh,
massive
Brilliant.
role in
Yes, yes,
programming
yes.
video games, for
I know
example,
about it.
programming enemy AI, or even simulating physics. Brilliant is the best way to learn math, data, and computer science from the comfort of your own home. Their lessons are fun and extremely interactive, which makes the learning process that much more enjoyable. For example, guys, you should check out this course on vectors. We use vectors all the time in game development, so understanding how they work is really crucial. You can get started completely for free for the next 30 days using our link in the description, and the first 200 people to sign up will get 20% off the annual premium subscription. So go to the description down below and join Brilliant now. Remember that if you also want to learn how to make video games, then you can check out our free game development course. The link is in the description. With that said, cheers.
I told the story before, like the only time I ever like clicked on a sponsored link by a YouTuber was, you know, for a long time, like I thought I needed a VPN, and I forgot who it was, but at some point I was like, okay, NordVPN, that was years ago, maybe I should do it, whatever percent off. So like the only time I actually clicked on like a sponsored thing was for that. I bought it, I set it up and everything, and I refunded it within a day because shit wasn't working right, like it was really slowing down. My internet page were loading so much slower. I spent like 10 minutes trying to look at like what the problem was and trying to fix it, and then I was like, okay, fuck off. You know, it's like, you know, I've seen so many ads, you know, it's like they always say it's like so easy, it works, it's perfect, no slowdown to your connection. So I was just so annoyed. Frankly, like if I'd spent more time trying to look into it, maybe I could have fixed it. But it's one of the things where like, yeah, the only time I try to like go after, you know, use a YouTuber like sponsor, that's what happened. That's what happened. Or maybe before I'd like joined a gacha game or something from a sponsor. But you know, as far as like really like buying something from a sponsor, that was like my only experience. Otherwise, yeah, really interesting video. I guess they have a bunch of videos for this, so maybe, you know, another time we can watch another episode, but it's a cool project, huh? It's a cool project, huh? I mean, I don't think the final game would be really that good or anything. Like, obviously, since they're all kind of like going for like the most generic rounds, right? They only have like a couple hours, so they're only going to like try to build a bit from like what they see is already made, huh? And it's not probably going to lead to anything super coherent or interesting per se, but the interesting part is to see like, you know, the next dev, what they look at, what the other did, and what they think they should improve or add or something. What I think is the most interesting is really seeing the thinking process of those people. And yeah, respect to that. It's cool stuff. Huh? Okay, good video. That was entertaining.